Good morning, everyone, and it is 10 o'clock, so we will call our meeting to order this morning. Mr. Robin, may I ask you to do a roll call?
Donna Angel.
Here.
Don Dory.
Here.
Dolly Holland.
Here.
Tiffany Reeves.
Here.
Robin. Kevin Moore.
Here.
Rolando Thacker.
Here.
Jeremy Hurd.
Here.
Stacy May.
Here.
Mosley.
I'm here.
Annie Gregory.
Here.
Rachel Adams. Here. Jennifer Hayes.
Here.
Todd Blanton. Matt McGillivray.
Here.
Did everyone? We can have a forum.
Very good. Thank you. Good morning, Matt. Good to see you.
Good
We're
morning.
never
I'm here to,
going to know that.
yeah, I'm here to heckle. I'm ready.
Okay. All right, if you will, we have our minutes attached from 2/25/26. If everyone, you had these in advance, if you want to run through them right quickly, we'll take a quick second to review them, those. Then we'll ask for a motion in a second and any discussion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dolly. Motion to approve. A second,
I'll second.
John. Any discussion? Just have a question mark myself on the second page under youth. It is not, anything, but we just had, there is still a board opening for an IT person. If anyone knows of a good fit for the opening, let us know. Has that position been filled? Anyone know?
Look,
I have a candidate if we do.
Our board advanced position.
Oh, the board's position.
I'm sorry, I just drew a blank for a second. I was like, IT position. No, we're still trying to recruit a position for that. We're still in the time. But yeah. Yeah, I thought we was firing you.
That's a real power. Sorry, darling, I should say the question that before we move on.
Last checks over there.
Yeah.
All right, motion for second and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, next up, we will ask Colin to take us through the April, financial report.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you, Donna. So that's on, what is that, page 4 of your report? That's gonna start on the main page with the chart. So at the end of April, our overall budget was at 74% expended. And we were at 69% at the same time in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 77%, and that was compared to 79% at the same time in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were at 87%, and we were at 78% at the same time in the prior year. Dislocated worker program was at 54%, and that was compared to 50% in the prior year. Youth program was 79% expended compared to 65% in the prior year. And then our youth work experience was we're about $48,000, $50,000 short. But we're moving forward to get that in the last couple of months to cover that requirement. We're doing well there. And then you can also see that our March Equus invoice was paid in a timely manner. And then the April Equus invoice was received on the 12th. And then we are in the process of getting that approved by my supervisor, and I will submit that this week. So we should be able to pay that probably by next week. If anybody has any questions on the April cover page, please let me know.
Colin, may I just ask, for my benefit, your supervisor is Michael or is Michael? And he would bring those to the board.
Yes.
I'd just like to commend, looks like your payment schedule is getting to the 4 to 5 week.
Good.
Yeah. Great.
That's great for the state. Not to put the state down anyway, but it's great for the
Yeah.
state. That is wonderful.
Yeah, it's worked well lately.
Okay. And you do feel that we will meet our goal, on the youth expenditures over by the end of June?
Yes, from, March until April, we had hit about 48,000 or something like that, on an increase there. We'll do that in May and likely.
Finish out in June.
Finish out.
Okay. Those are my questions.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions throughout, the remainder of the programs that are attached on the budget?
Yes, there are individual reports for each of the programs that are not WIOA also, including uncustodians first, the National Dislocated Worker Grant we have with the Department of Labor. You see the status update on those
Each of them.
there as well.
Colin, I have a question on the Yokohama,
Yes.
program there. Will we still finish that out by the end of June with 262?
Yeah, so this one, Donna, this one's on a 3-year cycle.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah, so this one, we've got it split out across the 3 years, approximately $500,000 for this one. And we'll be able to carry that over into next year as well.
Is there somewhere on here, I'm just thinking for the other board, where it shows the time slot for that 3 year time frame? If not, we have something on here
To explain how long that
Yeah.
grant runs. Now, I do think, did I leave that on here? No, we didn't.
It is, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna add that, John, because that will not expire for a couple more years. But it is not actually on this report.
Because I can see people asking that question.
Absolutely. I'll let the grant terms.
And on the current grant balance sheet, Colin, where we have the negative 700,000, just for my benefit, can you explain that?
Are you talking about halfway through,
Uh-huh.
halfway down? Yes. So that's in the column for the adjustments that we've made in that grant. So that grant is 271DW25, which is our fiscal year 25 dislocated worker grant. What we did was we transferred $700,000 from the dislocated worker program allocation, and we recoded that as adult transfer. So it's being used for adults. So it's showing that we removed $700,000 from the dislocated worker program, and then we've added $700,000 right above it to the adult program. It's still within the same grant. It still shows on the state side, for their purposes, it's a dislocated worker expense, but it's coded as an adult expenditure. So it's still going towards our adult.
Just transfer.
Yeah, that's all that is.
And that's all I know. Yeah, that's what it was, but I didn't know it was legal.
Yes, it's allowed.
Okay. All right, are there any questions? There's a lot of sheets and Colin does a great job keeping up with everything. Thank you for that, report, Colin.
Just, I have a question or if you could just confirm, I'm looking at the, fiscal year 26, April, it's the March column. Just to confirm that total client expenses, so we don't have any questions. I think the column wasn't wide enough. Do you have that number?
I'm sorry, which one is that? Which,
Fiscal year budget, actual April
Oh, okay.
2026, and it's the March column. I'm sure it's the,
That's no on the screen.
that's the year budget.
On the story. Into the.
Oh, yeah. You go to March 2026,
Yeah.
total client expenses. You have that number, just, I'm sure it's fine, I just don't want something to come up later.
Oh, yeah, the National Dislocated Worker Kentucky Storm Grant, is that it? Yeah, that number would just be the total, that 15,000 and the 1491.75, so 16,491.75. Yeah. That's exactly what that would be. that's just a, and so it didn't get expanded enough.
You're good. I just wanted to kind of find something like that. Thank you. Great.
The budget seems to be moving along quite well. She's on that. Any more further discussion on the budget? On the finance report, I'm sorry. All right, then I will ask for a motion to approve the April, documents. This second, please.
No motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next up on our agenda will be the, Jeremy will discuss with us the opportunity of the continuation of the virtual reality, program and renewal of that program for us.
So, our contract for transfer ends, in October. Is it October 1st? Probably, yeah. Okay. And, we'll need to renew it, continue our VR program, which, you know, we've been able to go out and do a lot of outreach and help out a lot of people with. We've done mostly high schools, but we've also done, you know, recovery centers and prisons and we constantly look for different ways to get out and reach more people with it. We've got 3 quotes here from transfer and then I went out and found one quote from another company. It's kind of hard to get 3 quotes when it's kind of a unique program. There's not really a lot of different companies that kind of do the same thing. There is a lot of PR programs out there, but there's not one's comparable to transfer in what they do. So the first page we've got is the quote for the full access. And that would be both the career inspiration and the VR training that allows us to do the pre-certification, pre-employment type stuff that we've looked at doing in the past. We haven't had a whole lot of success with doing it. And we've only had one school take us up on the training offers, but we would like to venture more into that if, you know, if the opportunity arises. The second page is a quote that they gave us for just the career exploration. And it, the only difference between it and the third page is that they've included the they've included 5 sessions of the professional learning, which is essentially just training for us if we ever need to use it, which in my opinion, we really don't. So I don't see much benefit in the second one. And then the third one is the cheapest one. It comes with just the career exploration and just the one training session, which I think in our situation would be more than adequate. So that's the 3 quotes we got from transfer. And then I went out and found one from Career Labs, and they were the closest that I could find to transfer, but all they offer is the software. They simply license the software. You go out and buy your own devices, you manage your own devices, you manage the software yourself. They just sell you the license that you use. And so, and the very last page of this is the quote from them. Basically, I just put it into a simple format to look at. That would include buying 5 devices of our own and using their annual subscription.
Could I add something?
Sure, absolutely.
The transfer, the third quote, we negotiated with them. So they gave us the $10,500 because we were good on. The longer deal reduction, yeah.
Yeah, that was the discount, and just from looking at what they did with the quote, that's what they took off, was for the training sessions.
And just,
So, yeah, which are not necessarily needed, so, essentially, if we're gonna stick with transfer, what we're looking at would be either the third page or the first page of getting the full access versus the career exploration only.
We talk about, Jeremy, how many actual schools that this program is in? It's only been the last 4 years, correct? Yes.
Yeah, and we've done, gosh, we've been in all 17 counties, and we have done, I don't have the exact numbers right here in front of me, but I can pull it for you. We've done probably 25, 30 schools, different schools that I'm basing that good on between 1 and 2 schools per county. And, of course, we did the whole gambit with, Isaiah House. We did all of their facilities. We did, Blackburn Prison. We did the Juvenile Detention Center, Fayette Juvenile Detention Center. We've done, yeah, we've done a lot with Amy Glasscock. We did the, what is that center that she's, yeah. We've made some great partnerships in the JAG program through the high schools. We have a great relationship with schools like Franklin County and, several others that we just, that they book us 2 or 3 times per semester. And then we also have, a good relationship with VCTC. We go out every summer and do a healthcare summer camp with them that we're actually getting ready to do the first week of June. Where we go out to 3 different campuses, and they have high school kids that are looking at going into healthcare careers. And we go out and take the VR devices and let them do career exploration. And I actually go in and filter out just the healthcare careers, so that they can go in, and so whatever they pick is going to be a healthcare career.
Add a
Yeah,
little bit.
absolutely.
And then one of the things too, while we've taken into Blackburn and a few of the correctional facilities, we always had an issue with being able to connect to the Wi-Fi. However, Transfers now has it to where you can do the career exploration without being connected to Wi-Fi, then all that information will download. So I know that we have a meeting with Will County Jail to try to go in and start doing services and things like that. So I was very excited with the fact that we don't have to be connected to the Wi-Fi. We try to explain to the county jails that I promise you they're not getting on Facebook with these, but they just didn't understand it. So now we're able to say, look, they can't even access anything other than this. For sure, it's not hooked to Wi-Fi or anything. So I'm excited about that. And pushing forward and start doing more stuff with the jails that way, the county jails too.
Sure, and I'll add on to that, just simply the way it works is that all the careers now are downloaded to the device rather than pulling them from the internet. So it doesn't require a connection to go out and pull the careers. The only reason you need a connection now is the data. So it keeps track of which simulations were done and how many people and all that, and the ratings, whether they give it 5 stars or whatever. So now they've got to put it into offline mode, and it stores all that on the headset, and it will store it up until the headset reaches capacity, which I've kind of done some quick math of, you can store about 16 hours worth of data. So, but all you have to do is connect to the Wi-Fi, and it automatically pulls all that data off the headset and puts it back on the server where it belongs. So you can run for about 16 hours before you have to connect to the Wi-Fi, just for about 5 minutes for it to download everything. And And
Do we select the programs that you want to download, or is it whatever is?
It downloads everything. Well, you create a classroom. So inside the classroom, you can select which programs you want to be available, whether it be all of them or just a subset, like with the healthcare careers. I can just do and create a classroom of just healthcare careers. Yeah.
We've also taken it to most of the libraries and to several employers. Thomas being one of those.
Yeah.
And the part that I love about it is that we take it into middle schools. We're prepping those kids early on for like what pathways to go into the ATC. So when we can get them in earlier than high school, it even helps us. Even though that's not the population we generally seek after, it's still molding and prepping.
Sure. Well, a lot of the high schools have a freshman academy that they do, where they have to declare what path they want to do. And it's great to, for these kids in middle school so far, who've done that, have an idea of what they might want to do. Of course, in my opinion, we don't ever decide what we really want to do, even when we're 40 years old, but it helps to give them a path to go.
Hannah's pointed out that on, well, when there's something miscalculated, what is it, Hannah?
Which Rachel. So if you look at the service offering on the second line where it says managed XR.
Yeah.
When you look at $100 times the 5 times the 4, they did not include the 4 years. So it's actually $1,500 off. So the price they quote, the contract list total is correct, $127,750, but the total they put $126,250. It's off by $1,500. And that's about the calculation.
Okay.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I can ask a question. Full access, what's the full workforce? And what are we not getting with the third page?
Sure, so, with the third page, you're just getting the career exploration, that is the 60 simulations that they add one every few months or so, but currently it's about 60 jobs. From is the 5 to 7 minute simulation of assisting with a knee surgery.
What's,
That is what that is our bread and butter of the program. What we're losing with the all access will be the things like when we brought it out to you guys, the bending conduit, and where you could just put it into construction jobs, and there's 7 different simulations of just construction jobs, or you could do automotive, and you have like the precision measurement programs and all that they can do. With the pre-employment stuff, the pre-certification stuff, the OSHA training and all that comes with it, all that's in the virtual training module that we wouldn't get with the third.
some of the larger trainings?
Yeah, there's about 270 simulations in the training module that we wouldn't have.
As long as we, what you guys did with my group was beautiful.
Yeah,
As long as we don't lose that or that type of atmosphere for the other, where they just have a 5 to 7 minutes.
yeah, definitely.
With option 3, Jeremy, then you would get very limited training, but you already are trained.
You don't really-
So we don't really need that.
Yeah, it's not really training with the third one. It's career exploration. It's here's 60 different jobs and a 5-minute simulation of what that job looks like. Like with assisting with knee surgery, you're gonna get like a 5-minute glimpse of what a surgical technician would go through assisting with a knee surgery. With the full access, you'll get things like how to use calipers, how to bend conduit, how to, safely use a scaffolding and bloodborne pathogen, things like that OSHA would require. Like I said, there's about 270 simulations of that. With just the career exploration, wouldn't get any of that stuff. You would just have the 5-minute how to change an oil, but the 5-minute how to collect evidence in a crime scene, things like that.
as I know that we've used it a lot for just the career exploration, but Jeremy, Robin and I have talked about how we can expand it to do more things like they did with you, John. For other employers and things like that. We're using it well, right? It's not a waste of money, but now it's time to say, okay, we're comfortable with it. We've made the connections and all that stuff. How can we expand it out? So the full access is, to me, I know there's a big price tag on that, but we are getting additional funding this year, you know what I mean, with our pre-planning numbers and things like that. But in order for us to grow this transfer program, we actually have to have that full access.
And to add to that is we haven't negotiated that part of it. So we negotiated for the other,
Right.
but there is a chance if we choose to go with the full program that we could go back and say, hey, you were gonna give us a 10,000 break on that, will you give it 10,000?
Just,
So,
this is for a 4-year time span.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like this year is this town. It's like 4 years, this is the.
that's correct.
Correct.
And it's confirmed, because I billed it says billing schedule year 1, invoice $126,000.
So that is the full price for the 4 years, yes. This just assumes you're paying it, I think, all up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So year 1 would be the full invoice, but then year 2, 3, and 4, you wouldn't have an invoice for it.
Is that normal to pay the full amount now?
That's what we did last
That's-
year. And we chose that. So we would just need to confirm with Colin and Michael that they want to do it the same way.
And to compare, if other enforcement does this, they love it.
We do.
Yes. So,
Well, it is a big price difference between option 1 and option 3.
But you're getting what you're paying for.
And actually, with all of the options, it comes with a new set of headsets. They're upgrading us to the newer version of Meta Quest 3S. So a lot of
come with carrying cases. Got to do that.
they will include carrying cases that they always have in the past and will insist on.
And like if one of the headsets aren't acting right, then Jeremy just reaches out, they send a new replacement headset and sends that headset back.
They just overnight, in 2
Yeah.
days, the boat will have it replaced. Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a big thing because especially when we do go into this. They're kids, sometimes they drop things, sometimes we drop
I
things,
was gonna say, we dropped when the kids did.
So, yeah.
So we don't have a separate service maintenance agreement.
The only thing we have in the past added to these is the battery extenders. So, we by default, these things have about a 2-hour battery life on them. So we bought battery extenders at about $40 a piece. It gives you like 8 hours of battery on each one, so we don't have to worry about plugging them in the middle of this. So that's been pretty valuable.
That's a good point, in the past, we had some extra cases. I'm just thinking from the funding and the money, yes, this is an absolute number, but I'm thinking if we're looking at our budget, I think we can throw some more money at it. We'll take care of those little things such as that. The batteries die constantly, batteries finish will die,
Yeah, we have replaced a couple of 3 or 4 battery extenders, mostly because it's just a USB-C connector and, take them on, put them off, put them in the cases they break. But transfer has included the cases for free in the past. So I would assume they would continue that, but that's not a bad idea.
We replace the batteries ourselves at our cost.
We replaced the battery extenders at our cost, yeah.
I want to make sure you have enough funding associated with this to take care of 4 years worth of maintenance. Sure. There's on Hardy.
Hey, I'm meeting with Bushman on the 4th to discuss the budget, and I wrote down to make sure I put extra cushion in there for the extenders.
And we do.
I don't think it's there for like $25.
Yeah, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
They're not.
We're not talking $100, talking $79.
But I would look at it, you know,
Yeah.
return, a constant replacement of, yeah, it's cheap to buy, but cheap to buy, it's easy to have to replace.
Sure.
And this is an existing grant fund that would be doing this, that we're not having to go apply new funds for the grants.
Broken out between our wheel and funding. I don't it's something we work very hard because we use it in all the coffee that they use that too.
Well, I think it comes down to, we want option one and we want option three.
That's
We have to rely on, you guys to really, what it serves you best, and it sounds like,
I think
they're
one,
both servable and.
one good way of looking at it is, for what we've done in the past, option 3 is good, but we want to grow this to be more than that. We want to start, doing the pre-certification programs and getting things into the prisons and having long-term relationships with the employers to be able to take them out and let them even, they can even use them for their training programs and, you know, the pre-employment training programs that.
And I like what Jennifer said about taking it into the middle school.
Yes, yes.
So, right there, that's a great thing. So, you have any questions?
How's the room with them? Waiting for the chair to close.
All right, I will ask for a motion to accept one of the three options for renewal of the headsets.
I'd like to propose a motion with a little bit of extra. Okay. I'm looking at 128, for the all access, plus some maintenance costs, right? So I'd like to propose to a budget of about 135,000 for a 4-year time frame.
I'll second.
And if you can get better costs, you know,
Yes,
sounds
we'll,
great.
Yeah.
But a budget's a budget. You try to be.
Right.
Yeah.
sure.
You don't use it all, but you
Whatever,
got it there.
however low it goes, all the extra will just go into the maintenance, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any further discussion on that? Then we will have a vote, all unanimous to, support the 126 plus the additional, maintenance work on that at 135 to be proposed for the budget. Thank you, Jeremy, for all the work on that. That was a lot.
Thank you.
Good information to review and know what we're doing with it out there as well. All right, next up, we will ask Alden to bring us up to speed on where we stand with next year's budget. And handle it.
Well, you can jump in. I can just kind of give you this, what I've got really quick. So we don't have a budget yet. We do have the planning numbers from the state and no NFAs officially headed our way yet. So we're just operating off of that. Michael Bushman, our CFO, is still working on budgets for the entire ad and us nested in there. And still waiting on some different information. So we've got more funding to deal with this year, which is great. And you know, but I don't have anything else.
Is it higher dollar funding?
Yeah, our dollar funding. So in total, we've got, let's see, we'll have about 338,000 and some change in admin, funding that we'll receive. And then a little bit over about 3,050,000 or so, in program expenditures, or program funding. Just as far as the planning numbers. Now that could increase, it could be, you know, the same, we don't know yet. But we should be looking at a slight increase in our overall funding. And I would imagine we would kind of keep it similar to how we've been running. Obviously adding more to the equipment side or the computer software and stuff for the BDR for this year, but, we should have more at our next meeting.
Michael and I are meeting on June 4th because, late yesterday, I finally got our putting in Kentuckians first numbers. Bluegrass will get 510,000. And that's really good for, I mean, it was cut in half anyway by the legislators. Whenever they first started out, Bluegrass was, they wanted to give Bluegrass just 300,000 and then we got it to 400,000 and then 510s were right. So yeah, so that's one of the things too that Bushman was waiting on, because you kind of can't really do a budget if you've got a pocket that you don't know what it's gonna be. So the 4th was the first day he had available. I'll meet with him that morning and we'll go over the nuts and bolts of it. Some of this stuff that we talk about when we're doing the budget is, like what new projects Rolly and I are working with the Anderson County JAG program about an in-school youth program that we're gonna do. If there's conferences that are coming up, you know what I mean, trying to figure out how many people what money to put back together the conferences. So the 4th is whenever I'm meeting with Bushman, so we'll have it by the next one. And Colin will be there too. So.
I like the in-school program.
Yeah, we're strategically doing this one, simply because partnering with JAG, they're a national organized youth organization. There's a whole lot more money out there if we can get this year right to go after additional grant funding for other projects next year, because I don't think that this legislative funding will come back the next 2-year cycle. So we can use this money now to
Just to
build it.
remind me, I think, Young Kentucky's first.
Mhm.
That's going to start July 1.
Mhm.
When does it end?
It's 2-year funding cycle.
2 years for 5 or 10, that's it?
That's it. But now listen, you've got to stop and think. The legislator cut it, you know what I mean, to 10 million. It was 20 million, then it was 10 million, is what they said it with. The projects that I already have in mind, will do good. We'll be able to get a lot of kids with that. But it's partnering with organizations to where they're putting out a little and we're putting out a little. And technically, that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, but if we get this year right, I'll keep my finger on it real close. Then we can use our data from this one to go after a whole bunch of other funding for its. That's the goal.
1 year.
Two.
What age group is this?
It can be, 16 up to 24, each area. And the thing with this putting in Kentuckians First money, okay, with WIOA is absolutely wonderful, right? It is, because WIOA is set to help those individuals that need help the most. But there's this little pocket, even like with our WIOA youth, it is like we've got a bunch of barriers banned that WIOA is your route to go. But there is a little pocket of kids that they're not low income, right? But they have barriers, but like to be a WIOA in-school youth, you have to be low income and an additional barrier, like you have to be parent of pregnancy, you have to be connected to foster care and all that. We got some kids, some in-school youth that need help, right? Because they don't always have the best support network around them that don't hit those barriers. So that is what we have used this past funding for, is to help those kids and get the connections to those schools for those kids. So, because WIOA is sometimes it's where the government, we're here to help, and we're gonna make it real hard for you. I mean, that's just endorsed by me, nobody else. You know, that's the difference of it. So, but the putting young Kentuckians first funding, it's Oh, but now we've chosen to focus on in-school youth. A lot of the other areas are doing 18 to 24-year-olds, and we've done some 18 to 24-year-olds. But not as many as what some of the other areas do, because we can use WIO adult money for 18 to 24-year-olds.
Would these be the 18 to 24-year-olds that are not going to college and they are just going for a tech school type program?
But yeah, so on the 4th is when we're meeting to do the nuts and bolts.
Okay, so will you be getting back to us for budget approval before the end?
Oh, listen, we've had it in September before.
Oh,
the budget's
okay.
come through.
Oh, God.
That's just the nature, but the thing with it is where we've always set it up to where there is carryover. Services don't stop just because we don't have that budget approved yet, right? So, and that is one thing that, Bluegrass does do brings in a lot of the other areas, is we do make sure that we've got that carryover cushion. So, cause you never know whenever federal government's sending it down to the states and then the states send it to the locals. Yeah.
Just a silly question, but how do we know, how do we keep really close, and maybe a question for Rosie there, about what we need to change our programs to for each community? We're out there in 17 different counties, they're all different, ways. So are we doing the best research that we can to make sure we get the right coverage in there for the
So if you're looking at, because naturally the business is really the key customer, and we owe it, right? Rolly and his team, they do have very good connections with all the employers. Then we have connections with the school systems to see what they need that pipeline to be. So I feel like we do, but there, you can always do better. You know what I mean? You can always do better. Whenever we're gonna go, even like the Boyle County project, Rolly worked with, what's his name, Harold? To do a needs assessment so that Harold could send out to the businesses there in Boyle County to say, hey, would you be interested if individuals that come out of the jail system, the current, jail system, if they had, oh shoot, they had this, and if it's a benefit, yes, we'll move forward with it. If it's not, then we're like, okay, what do they? How will they hire them? What will make these individuals more hireable? So, yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Colin. Any questions for Colin? All the money, probably all the cards for us next time. All right, that just brings us down to open discussion. Gone through this pretty fast for a change. So we probably skipped a lot of things. My bad there. So I'll just open the floor for anything that's come up or anything that anybody wants to discuss or share.
I would like to share about our stand down event,
Yeah.
right, that we had here.
I was wondering how that is. I see some pictures, but I want to know.
Yes, okay. So there was an individual that showed up, and we were all trying to figure out who she was. She is Rhonda Epps, and she is with the United States Department of Labor Veterans Affairs from Washington. She flew down that morning to just, yeah, we were all like, oh, to see how everything went. I know that she had told Taylor that it all went well, but whenever Rachel and I were at NADA presenting about the depot grant, just standing in line, talking to people, there was a lady from South Texas who, where you know how you do, where you from and all that stuff. Well, from Kentucky, well, hey, I heard that somewhere in Kentucky did a very wonderful stand down event. Now, let's keep in mind, stand down event happened on Thursday, not it starts on Sunday. Okay? So, I was like, that was us. Right? And then she talked about how Miss Epps had sent an email out saying how that the stand down event that she came to was laid out perfectly. There were a ton of resources, and everything there. Later on, standing and talking, a gentleman from Kansas, mentioned the same, where you from, Kentucky, I heard this, yeah, well, he's flying in June 8th, because they're trying to get connected to the Kentucky Fame Project too. But that evening, I'm gonna meet with him and his team, just to have dinner, you know what I mean, and talk about some of the other stuff that we're doing, but they heard about the stand down event. There was another one in Virginia, and then another, I want to think it was in New York, came and found me and said, hey, I need to know. Then, whenever we presented, on the depot grant, there was a lot of conversation about our stand down. So, we knew it was a success. But to hear from all the other states, that's absolutely wonderful. We did have one individual that Art Neal, we're already working with a little bit. He came here, there was some issues going on. He talked to Art got him that day of the stand down event, got him connected with the resources, his rent got taken care of. And then the Department of Corrections was here and a couple other employers, but he got offered a job that day. So yes, it went wonderful. All the stuff that they got in the bag, minus apples and oranges, because naturally took those out so they wouldn't go bad. But they got all that stuff there. Fed on hamburgers, hot dogs, a lot of the guys, because Hannah was over there working the thing, like when they were leaving, because, you know, it's Kentucky and we gonna make sure everybody's got enough food, but like they would say, can I take an extra? Absolutely, absolutely take extra. You need an extra hamburger, you need extra hot dog, you need some extra cookies. So yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Everybody worked their butt off. I'm real proud of them.
Who was grilling?
My husband,
Okay.
probably,
Saw the traveling grill.
yeah, ProLift, the company that my husband works for, you can do 4 hours of community service and get paid. Donnie was in the Marine Corps. Dave was with them. Dave was in the Army. Jonathan, I think, was in the Army. And then Ronnie's son, is in the Marine Corps, and, I forget, Samuel. Samuel is, he's been in the United States for about 10 years, but he was in the military in his home country. So you had a bunch of, you know what I mean, veterans there, cooking for the veterans. So yeah, let's get.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it went really good. Really, you want to add anything? I think it went awesome.
I thought it was pretty good. I feel like we probably missed out on, everyone that attended, just because I think when it got kind of crowded, people started coming in this way over here. But, for the most part, I thought it was really well. I think it was all hands on deck, from the grant to donations to the planning. I mean, it was all hands on deck. It was a really good event.
Picture in the fall.
Yeah.
We have another one in the fall. So,
Stand down.
yeah.
I think that's success, but he was on success.
So,
I had it's called Yonder, Rolly's familiar with them, behavioral center in our community of Korea. They come to see me, their patients stay, it's a behavioral, it can be drug abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health abuse, whatever the categories, but they keep their patients 3 to 6 months. So Will was trying to figure out how he gets them, even if you're off limits and out of sight for 3 to 6 months, your whole world is different. So I thought of us, but I didn't know quite how we might or might not fit in for this. But he wanted to see how we might be able to come there and do something encouraging and inspiring for the ones. Because they do have they picked up the Fletcher Group clients as well now, so they're full house. So as they release everyone, some of them don't have driver's license, that's been taken away, so there's expansion opportunities maybe. but they don't know how to get their lives started back. They don't have gas money yet, somebody to come and get them to pay for a taxi. Their families have abandoned some of them. So it's really a hard situation to figure out, you know, how we play a role to get them prepared to walk out of that. And I don't know, it's a big challenge.
Well, I know what we do. So if you can, just do a connection email and let us come meet with them.
To you will.
Yes.
With them and see what.
Yeah.
I said, I want to ask for something better.
Yes.
They're no different than, you know, prison, you know, and so if we go there to have prisoners, so.
Yeah.
This is not like they're in prison, but they are, because they're not visitors, they're not outside folks and things like that. Way down the road, they get no cell phones, I mean, they go cold turkey.
Yeah. Because listen, we've done, especially once you go into the centers and stuff, we know what we have in our wheelhouse and we kind of talk with them to say, what works best, what piece, basically, what piece works best. So yeah, just do a connection email.
Do that. Okay, anything else from anyone? Any great stories you want to share? Jennifer, you always have great stories. Pick one.
Well, we have Hannah's daughter. That's a really good success.
About that.
And I was gonna mention it in the WIB meeting this afternoon, but, she's been placed as a paid internship with the Winchester Sun. And she's writing articles left and right for the newspaper, and so she's, found her niche. And even brought a scrapbook today, like of all the articles that she's
Already
doing. So, that's one just off the top of my head, but there's lots of success.
So she's made headways with Mayor Joe Ellen over there, because I said, beside her at the meeting, and she's brought that up, and I was mentioning her here. Yes, she did, you know. I said, well, we tried to get her in at the British Chamber of Commerce, but some things people just aren't ready. You know, we've been out without a chamber president now since January, and they haven't even placed him, they haven't replaced that person. And Tamara came to us about putting an intern in. I thought, at least we have someone there that can go to keep, you know, everything, but it didn't work out.
Well, this worked out the way
It was supposed to be, yeah, God intervened, didn't he? And so, but, okay, anything from anybody else? Todd?
I got one little thing with, we got layoffs, rapid response services tomorrow with Fayette County Public School System. We have a session at 1, 3, and 5 for the layoffs happening at the school. The mayor just released a press conference, press.
Did they do it?
I'm gonna be honest,
School systems are worrisome right
it's, the number's been popping between 120 to, anywhere from 120 to 400, I don't know. But anyways, the mayor board just sent out a press release that, because we're doing a virtual job fair, virtual for them tomorrow, or not tomorrow, June 17th. And we're gonna, the goal is to invite local employers, but also try to involve all the school systems throughout the state to see if anyone would be willing to retain any of these.
what day will it be, June 17th?
Yeah, from 10 to 2. So the reason I say that is because I'll have, I'll send out a flyer to anyone who wants to participate. If you're willing to participate, Premier Virtual is free. If you're able to sign in, so if you're looking to hire anybody, this includes, I don't know who's gonna include, you know what, I don't know who it includes. I've been told everything, between everything, so, but I know it's a lot of skilled individuals may not be teachers, I don't know. But just give y'all
It's supposed to not include teachers. Well, this is the first thing they said, but see.
or maintenance,
Yeah, I mean, and, yeah, it's all, some district, I think there's district
I think what,
level, higher level jobs also from like superintendent's office, and stuff like that.
so I think the reason. Keep it in-house. Oh, never mind. I'll talk to you guys later.
sorry. We have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make motion to adjourn.
Thank you, John. Second.
I'll second.
Dolly. Motion, meeting adjourned.
All right.